What up, MetaZoo Maniacs and Cryptic Campers? Today's April 27, 2025, and in this video we're going to go over all 20 of the MetaZoo alternate arts, and we're going to get into the hidden rares at the end of the video too. So what we're going to look at is how much are these cards worth? How much are these 20 different alternate arts worth? Which ones are the cheaper ones? Which ones are the chase cards? And the reason why I wanted to make a quick little video like this is I watch a lot of whatnot streams or people open up boxes on YouTube, and they're wondering, like, how much are these cards worth? Is it a $10 card, $20, $30, $100 card? Who knows? So anyways, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to check out auctions only. We're not going to look at buy it nows, because usually auctions are generally on the lower end of the spectrum of like what the cards are selling for as a minimum. So for example, we got Groot Slang here that sold for $10.50 in auction. Another thing to keep in mind with any of these auctions, I mean, these cards could sell in a different auction for maybe $5 to $10 more. It just really depends when the auction's ending, maybe the condition of the card, maybe the centering on the back. There's a lot of factors. I mean, it's a raw card, right? And also when the auction's ending. I mean, if the auction's ending on a Tuesday afternoon compared to a Sunday evening, there's probably going to be a difference in how much it's going to sell for. So anyways, let's get into the video. It's just a general idea as to how much these cards are selling for and how much they're worth when you pull it out of a pack raw. So anyways, once again, at the bottom of the barrel, we have Groot Slang at $10.50 in auction. Next, we have Trample, sold for $12.50. And I can't emphasize it enough. Some of these cards could sell for $5 to $10 more, depending on when the auction's ending, or if you were to sell these as a buy it now. Next, we have Snallygaster at $12.50. Next, we have Chupacabra, $12.50. And I tried to list all these cards in the order of least value to most valuable. Next, we have Phoenix, sold for about $15.50. Next, we have Sword of Searcher, selling for about $17. Next, we have Ziz, selling for $17.19. Next, we have Basilisk, selling for $17.50. Here we have Hodag, selling for about $18.27. That's crazy. That's an amazing artwork. Hodag's one of the OGs. I can't believe it's selling for less than 20 bucks. That's crazy. Next, we have Dingbell, selling for about $20.50. And here's a good example of what I was talking about earlier, where some cards will sell for, fluctuate with about within $5 to $10. So here we have Bigfoot selling for $20.50 on April 24th. But 4 days earlier on April 20th, it was selling for $33.51. So a lot of it could have to do with the timing of the auction when it's ending, and maybe the condition of the card. And also, this was 4 days earlier, so 4 days later, there might have been more supply on the market, more buy it nows, and that could drive down the price too. So I can't emphasize it enough. These aren't absolute prices of what your cards are worth, but just a general idea. So, for example, Bigfoot could be, a $20 to $30 card. Next, we have Quetzalcoatlus, sold for $22.50 in auction. Then we have Lady Luck, selling for about $27. Dragon of Conto Falls, selling for $30. Now, keep in mind, that's April 25th. But when the set first came out, way earlier in April, it was selling for $42 in auction. And then there's another early auction on April 10th. You get the full art and the 2-star rarity Dragon of Conto Falls for $31. Next, we have Piazbird, selling for about $30 in auction. Next, we have one of the Sun Wukong alternate arts, sold for $32 in auction. Another one for $36 in auction. Here we have a Rainbow Crow, selling for about $36. Here we have Monkey Mirage, selling for $33. Another Monkey Mirage, selling for $38. So as you can see, most of these alternate arts are selling for probably no more than 40 bucks. Maybe $30 to $40 is the high end, until you get to the top chase cards in the box. So I think it's safe to say most of the alt arts are selling anywhere from maybe $25 to $35, maybe $20 on low end. And then obviously the less popular ones are anywhere from like $10 to $20. So April 3rd, we had a Sun Wukong alternate art sell for $94.50 in auction. But then on April 20th, it's all the way down to $56 in auction. But remember, the centering on the back, the condition of the card could change the pricing quite a bit too. Here we have another one on April 21st, sold for $55. And also too, remember, when the first singles that come out on the market, the first ones out of the gate are always going to sell for more. And then once the market gets, more supply and there's less demand, then the prices are going to go down as well. So April 5th, we had a 3-star Moth Man crazy card, sold for $122.50 in auction. Then on April 20th, we had one sell for $59 in auction. On April 21st, we had another one sell for $66 in auction. And on April 25th, another one for $53 in auction. But also on April 25th, another one for $76 in auction. So I know I keep saying it, but it could be the centering on the back of the card that might be changing the pricing. It might be the condition of the card, if there's whitening on the corners or edges. And also, it could be the timing of the auction, depending on when it's sold in the day, too. But I'd say it's safe to say that this Mothman is the top alternate art 3-star rarity card that you could pull out of a box. So undeniably, the top 2 cards that you could pull for the alternate arts are the Mothman 3-star rarity and the Sun Wukong 3-star rarity, the box art Sun Wukong. But now let's get to the hidden rares. How much have these been selling in auction? Now, I'm not going to include the buy it nows for these cards. I'm only going to show the auctions in this video. Just because, like I said in the beginning of the video, auctions are usually selling for lower than buy it now. So this is a good representation as the least amount of value that these cards probably will have. Okay, first we're going to start with Bigfoot on April 8th, 2025. Sold for $247.50 in auction. And then on April 9th, it sold for $237.50 in auction. Next we have Sun Wukong on April 10th. It sold for $425.99 in auction. And this is the hidden rare Sun Wukong. Another hidden rare Sun Wukong sold for $300 in auction on April 20th. And on April 25th, another Sun Wukong hidden rare sold for $300 as well. Next we're on to Piazza Bird. April 10th sold for $350 in auction. April 12th, we had another Piazza Bird hidden rare sold for $400 in auction. And now we're on to the Moth Bion. The very first one sold on eBay cracked the $1,000 barrier, $1,025 in auction on April 3rd, 2025. Then on April 5th, 2025, the Moth Bion sold for $835 in auction. Then on April 9th, it sold for $777.77 in auction. Then on April 17th, it sold for $611 in auction. And then on April 19th, it sold for $610.59 in auction. So everyone watching this video has one question. How much is the OG Mothman selling for in auction? Well, I do not know, but there is one in auction as of the recording this video. There's about 2 days left, day and 23 hours. It is up to $560 American in auction, the OG Mothman. So since we're at the end of the video, that's what I want you to comment below. How much do you think this is going to sell for? We all know back on March 30th, SoCal TCG sold his for $2,000 American. Then on March 31st, there's another one sold for $2,000. Then on April 2nd, there's one sold for $1,550. Then on April 13th, there's one that sold for $1,670. And the most recent sale on April 20th, 2025, OG Mothman Hidden Rare Texturized Crazy Full Art sold for $1,950 American. So do you think this auction is going to get that high? Do you think it's going to break the $1,000 barrier? Obviously, it's going to break the $1,000 barrier. But do you think it's going to get to that $2,000 mark like all the buy it nows have been selling for? Or best offer acceptance? Anyways, comment below. Let me know what you think. I hope this video helps you understand when you're pulling certain alternate arts, which ones are more valuable, which ones are less valuable, and a general idea as to how much they're worth. Anyways, comment below and let me know how much you think this auction is going to end at, and we'll see you in the next video.